Toby from Resa Gratia, and in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to create a date table in Power Query, not Excel, Power Query. But bear with me. So I had first seen this tutorial walkthrough on Chris Webb's blog, and also on Ahmed Oyelo's blog, who runs Foresight BI. I think it's a really great way to create a date table. You can do the same you can create a date table in Excel, you can create it in DAX, right? But having it in Power Query has some benefits because you can process it in the back end and bring it straight into Power BI. Especially for something like this, right? When you have a case of target versus actuals, and you want to create a date table only for the actuals, right? So imagine you run a company or a sales manager, and at the start of the year you've already set out your targets for sales for every single month, albeit linearly, as you can see from here. But then for every single month, you're measuring your performance versus, your actuals versus your target. And you see that, you need to calculate metrics such as year-to-date, sales, etc., and all that. It would be great to have one actuals table that you can use, actuals date table that you can use for all those kinds of calculations, rather than taking in this date table, which will often show up as, in some cases, blanks, because you don't actually have actuals up until the end of the year. You have actuals data or sales data whenever they happen. In this case, let's say we have all the way up to May. So I'll run some random numbers here. There's maybe 10, plus or minus 10% of the actual. So I would run between, I would say equals this actual value minus 10% of that value, which is this, right? And then this actual value plus 10% of that value. Yeah, plus 10% of Excel of this value. Press enter. Random. So I'll click on that all the way to May, which is cool. Then I can actually copy it and I'll paste only the values. Control V, Control V, then V for values, right? And I'll save this. And I'll bring this into Power BI. So I'm in Power Query Editor here. I can just go to Get Data. Come on. Happens sometimes. This is not regular. Trust me. Right? Go to Excel. And then go to this demo sales I have here. Check. Yeah, this is what we want. Bring it into Power Query. So, since the date, right, table that we want to create is from the actual values, right? Excuse me, it's from the actual value. We can, think about a sort of transformation or an automation step, in which case, I'm only going to create a date table from January all the way to May. Whenever there's an addition to the actual column here, the date table should automatically shift to June, and then to July, and then to August, all the way up to the end of the year, when your target values would match your actual values. So let's quickly, let me duplicate this. I'll duplicate this, right? And let's say we want to call this our actuals dates. So to say date actuals, probably date actuals. Right. I will remove null from here. And then I'll remove these columns. So I have just this date column. This is a table at the moment. I need to convert it into a list. So as you can see from here, right, it's taking the first day of each month. I need to create a set of individual dates, right? That is single dates in between this 1st of January all the way down to not the 1st of May, but the 31st of May, right? So how do I do that? I do first, I'll set a new step. This step, I will just call it pull out only the date column, right? Which essentially turns this into a list, like so, right? I can rename this to my dates or something. Nope, that's not intuitive. It's actual dates, something like that. Then from actual dates, I will extract the minimum dates from here. That is from actual date. Enter. Enter. Is there a reason why this is now? List.Min. Yeah. And then the list is actual date. This one. Press enter. That was weird. Then I'll rename this to main dates. And then I'll insert a step after, which will be the List.Max of the actual date as well. I can press enter there as well. What's going on? It's like my keypad's frozen, right? Let's try that again. List.Max, right? Actual date. Okay, so that's the maximum. You can see that's 5th month, the 1st day, right? Now we'll rename that to max date. And we need to create the end of the month, right? What's the last actual date in this 5th month? So I can insert a step after. And for that, I will say date dot, there's an end of month function, and you can call the end of month of the max date. Max date. Sweet. So that's 1st of May 2020. I can also rename that to end of month, like so. Now I need to calculate the duration between the end of month and the minimum date. So I will insert a step after, and here I will say end of month minus min date. Press enter. 151 days. Now this is in a duration format, and this is how it shows up. Days, right? The hour. So it's going to be days dot hour colon minute colon seconds, right? So I can convert this into days, and the actual duration between those two dates is that end date minus the start date plus 1, right? So that's the actual number of days in between them. Now that I have this extracted days, I can actually rename this to, I can call it maybe number of days, right? I can say number of days, right? At this point, we have everything we need really to generate our table. So I can go to insert step after, and here I would use a function called List.Dates, right? And then it takes in 3 arguments, right? First being the start date, second being count as number, and then the third is the step, that is the interval. So start date is the main date, right? The count as number is the duration, which is your number of days, right? And then finally your step, that is how do you want this number of days to be interpreted, right? How do you want this 152 to be interpreted? You want it to be interpreted as single days. So and it takes the argument as a duration, right? You can either create another query to add a single day as a duration, or you can just straight away write extract duration from text, right? From text. And here I would say the duration is 1 day, and that's written as 1.00:00:00, right? And then we have that, we can press enter. So we now have a list of dates from the first date all the way down to, look at that, the last date of the month, right? So yeah, so from here we can just convert it to table, convert this list to table, create table, list, click OK, convert it to dates, right? Rename this as your dates, and you can do all sorts of things from here. You can create extra columns, right? By extracting year, you want to extract the year, right? You can also extract, extract the month name, right? From here, and extract the month number, right? And finally, maybe you want to extract the you want to extract the day of the week, which is under day here. So you can go to day of the week. Yeah. And that is how to create a date table in Power Query. You can bring this into your Power Pivot and just essentially create a relationship with your date table. So that's going to be it for this tutorial. Catch you at the next tutorial. Cheers.